Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Leslie Benavides, and today's video is going to be a BMT Q&A. So lately I've been having a lot of people ask me the same questions on my Snapchat and my Instagram or even my YouTube comments about the same questions about BMT before they go into BMT. So I'm here to answer a few of the questions that are pretty common. Just in case you have the same question, I can answer it on this video. So one of the big questions that I do get asked a lot is how I prepared for BMT. So I'm going to answer that mentally and physically. Physically, I was in pretty good shape before I left because I obviously knew that you're going to have to work out. You work out every morning in BMT. Basically what I did a lot of push-ups like daily. I ran about 3, you don't have to do this, you probably should not do this, but I ran 3 miles every day, a little bit over 3 miles occasionally every day. And I went to the gym almost every day also. So I was kind of overworking my body before I went, but I was really prepared while I was in BMT. Mentally, you kind of just have to prepare for getting yelled at often. If you're not somebody that knows how to deal with getting yelled at, you're gonna either have to learn when you get there or just try to know how to keep your mouth shut and not make any reaction when they do yell at you. I'm not really sure how to exactly say how to prepare for BMT, but that is what I did, just knowing and being prepared of getting yelled at and having to do stuff even if like you don't want to do it. Another thing to add on how to be prepared, waking up early regularly before you go to BMT. Like if you can wake up at 5 o'clock or even like 4:30, it'll help you a lot because you wake up that early every single day in BMT. So another one is how I dealt with stress in BMT. I honestly did not feel stress in BMT. A lot of girls did though. Some effects of that, if you're a female, your period may not show up. You may skip your period, or you might have a period the entire time you're at BMT. I know there was a girl that was in my flight that was super stressed, and she had a period for the entire time we were in BMT. Another thing to add on to stress, you could possibly not be able to go to the restroom the first week. A lot of girls had trouble with that. Something that you can do is eat the yogurt that's in the DFAC, and that'll help you. That's what we had to do. So this question is mainly for girls. It's about periods. You are allowed to bring tampons and pads and panty liners and stuff like that to BMT, and you can also buy them at the BX when you get there, but I highly suggest not overpacking because I definitely overpacked on stuff like that and I did not need any of it. So with periods, like I said earlier, they can last long or not long depending on how your body works, but periods definitely will last longer if you're more stressed. In BMT, nobody cares about like your period. Like if you have one, it's not gross. You're with a bunch of girls. There's a trash can for period supplies and there's a trash can for regular supplies. The MTIs will take care of you if you need it. If you bleed through something, they'll wash it immediately or they'll have to get rid of it depending on how bad it is. But periods are definitely not a problem. Okay, so moving on. What was the hardest thing for me to deal with in BMT? Personally, I think the hardest thing to deal with was the amount of females that you're living with. So girls in general, they are hard to like get along with sometimes. There's just a lot of like, this girl wants her space, this girl wants this done this way. There's a lot of arguing back and forth. If you think about it, it's just gonna get harder if you don't get along with your flight. Some girls try to have their own little cliques. My flight, we were separate, like every flight is separated by A bay and B bay, but in the end you're one flight. So we kind of argued a little bit about like which bay was better. Just having to deal with a bunch of different personalities is very hard. Getting to know each other and like getting closer with your flight makes BMT way easier and way less stressful because we came along in the end, like within the last 4 weeks, we all got really close. But the faster you actually get to know people and like not start drama, the easier BMT is going to be. So with morning PT, you work out every single morning at there's 0 500 and 0 600. It can go either way. Both times are good. You literally have to wake up every morning, get ready, and do PTs. If you're not in the best shape or you can't do a lot of push-ups, I highly suggest being able to do about 30 to 40 push-ups in a row, because you're gonna have to do about 30 push-ups, 2 sets of 30 push-ups back to back. And then there's like these diamond push-ups, no, not diamond push-ups, it's pyramid push-ups, and it's like you go up to 8, so it's like push up, you roll, you do a shoulder press, you roll again, do 2 push-ups, roll, do 2 shoulder press, roll again, do 3, and it goes all the way to 8, and then you have to go from 8 down back to 1. So it's a lot of push-ups. It's a lot of work if you can't do push-ups. And my squadron was 322. Our MTIs were pretty strict on like fitness, so they would yell if you couldn't do it. They would yell, just trying to motivate you, but it wasn't like the best motivation for certain people. But morning PT is not hard if you're able to do push-ups. That's the only thing that people really struggled with. Okay, and dealing with yelling. So in BMT, you're going to get yelled at least once. If you don't, then you're not really putting yourself out there. So, I mean, if you want to sit in the corner and do nothing, then that's fine, but you're not really getting the BMT experience. So how I dealt with getting yelled at was just like taking it, looking at them, and not reacting. Because if you show a reaction, it's going to make them want to yell more. They're looking at your bearing. So they call it a military bearing. You don't react at all. You just take it, you say yes ma'am or yes sir. That's it. You don't try to explain why you did something wrong. You don't try to explain why they're wrong. That's kind of just how BMT works. That's how it is. So is there drama in BMT? Yes, there is a lot of drama in BMT. Girls like to do things a bunch of different ways. They grew up a bunch of different ways. Some girls don't listen. Some girls listen a lot. Some people like to get in other people's business. It's just the same problems that are outside of BMT, and then you cram it all into 7.5 weeks in a small dorm. So there is a lot of drama. There's always going to be drama, but just not being involved in the drama is really going to help a lot. Is there church services? Yes, there's church services. Due to COVID, you can't go to church, but they show videos on Sundays, and you watch it in the day room, which is inside the dorm. That's kind of like a chill day. Like Sunday, it's very laid back. It's kind of boring, but if you go to church, sometimes they'll have like singing, and they'll have like a good time on the videos. But that's about it. You can't like leave the dorm or anything. Okay, can you wear makeup? No, you can't wear makeup during BMT. You can wear makeup if your MTIs allow you to wear makeup. You can wear makeup during your flight picture, and you can wear makeup for graduation. You can't wear earrings, no jewelry, but you can wear that for your picture and for graduation. Those are the only 2 times you're actually able to wear makeup or jewelry. Can you bring birth control? Yeah, you can bring birth control if it's prescribed. You can't bring anything that isn't prescribed, and it has to be there has to be proof that you have it prescribed to you. How do showers work? So for females, we only had 6 or 8 shower heads. For a lot of girls to share a shower head. We had about 40 people in our flight by the end, so it's about 4 or 5 people per shower head, taking about 30 seconds to take a shower. It's definitely not the most hygienic thing to do, but when you're on a time limit, we had 5 minutes to take a shower, so we really had to rush everything. That was just for us. Some flights had about 30 minutes to take a shower, which was way more than 5 minutes. We never got that, but basically that's how our showers worked. Can females talk to males? No. No. So females cannot talk to males, and males can't talk to females. Males got in trouble a lot in BMT for looking at the girls, staring, trying to talk to them while they were doing laundry, trying to meet up at the dry cleaners. There was a lot of like things that did happen due to males and females trying to talk. At Beast Week though, you're kind of like integrated. So males and females are like in the same, you're in different tents, but you're in the same area. So you're able to talk to them. But we were told like not to talk to the males at all or we're gonna get in trouble. So we didn't really talk to them like often, but Beast was a little bit more loose than like actual BMT. Will I be able to shave? I'm not sure if that's from a male or a female. I know males have to shave like almost every day. Females, you can shave if you want, but you're not gonna have a lot of time unless you have a 30-minute shower. But from my experience, you don't really get to shave often. You can probably shave everything if you want on a Sunday, but that's about it. What type of workouts were there? So morning PT is a lot of push-ups and a lot of ab workout. That's about it. There's nothing else, just abs and a lot of push-ups. You run twice a week. Sometimes you're not able to run twice a week, which was what we went through, but if you're prepared, like if you ran a good amount before you went to BMT, then you'll be pretty prepared for your PT test. Can you get kicked out if you fail the PT test? Yes. So there's 3 PT tests. There's a first one, which is the initial one, the second one, which is 2 weeks after that, and then the final one, which is 2 weeks after that. So I had a girl was washed back into my flight because she failed her PT test, and then she failed it again whenever we did our PT test, and she got kicked out of the Air Force. And then there was another girl that was originally in my flight that failed her PT test, the final one, and she was recycled into another flight. So yes, you can get kicked out of the Air Force and you can get kicked out of your flight if you fail the PT test. Nothing happens if you fail the first or second one. Like you might have to do 1x3s, which is like you have to do 3 sets of different workouts, and it's not much, but if you do it, it does work because we had to do those as a flight, and it worked because we all passed except for one girl. What happens if your flight has COVID? So my flight did not have COVID. None of us had COVID at all, so we were lucky. But some of the other flights did have COVID, and I know they were quarantined for 2 weeks. Some people say it was the best thing ever. Some people say it was the worst thing ever. Some flights got their phones, some flights didn't. I know everybody complained about the food. I'm not sure why because I've never been quarantined, but I can't really answer that question fully because I'm not sure exactly what they do. I don't think you can graduate on time if you have COVID. Depending on when they got COVID, that determines if you're able to graduate. Because if you're gonna get COVID in the beginning, then you still continue from where you're at. But if you get COVID like your 7th week, you have to stay an extra 2.5 weeks. So anything can really happen. I know there was 6 girls that were transferred into our flight the last week, and they were there for an extra 2 weeks because their flight got COVID at Beast. Are there old people in BMT? I'm not sure how old people is referring to, but the oldest person I had in my flight was 34 years old, and there was like a 32-year-old, I think. Other flights, like the male flights, I know some had like 40-year-olds in there, but there's nothing wrong with being older and joining, or being older in BMT, but yeah, there are some like older people if you're a teenager. Is weapons training hard? No. Breaking apart the weapon was probably the easiest thing you can do. And then shooting, like at Cadams, when you're shooting your M4, that was the first time I've ever shot before, and I got 17 out of 24. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I know it was fun. It's more fun than it is hard. Some people did fail. I know I had one person in my flight that failed the shooting stuff. But I think you can only fail if you're like hesitant on doing that stuff, because it's pretty simple. They'll show you how to do everything, and none of it is really hard. Is BMT hard? No. BMT is only as hard as you make it. It's basically like a mental game. If you think it's going to be hard and you treat it like it's harder than it is, then it's going to be hard. But it can be fun if you just like get along with the girls or get along with the guys. It's going to be fun for you. Were people depressed in BMT? Not that I know of. If you get close with the girls that you're with and you like support them, and like when you get mail, a lot of girls, like, we all supported each other through like our mail. They would send pictures, and like you would show everybody in your flight like your pictures. If you make things fun, it's gonna be worth BMT. It's gonna be worth the experience. So I think that's what helped a lot of people stay out of depression, because I know that probably does happen because everybody misses home, and due to COVID, you're not even able to have anybody at graduation. You're not allowed to see anybody while you're in tech school. So it's gonna be like months before you see anybody that you really know outside in the civilian world. When do you get rank? So people that had rank already while we were in basic training, they got their rank patches the second to last week we were there. Me personally, I don't have a rank, or it would be right here, but I get my rank in 3 weeks. So I'll be at A1C in 3 weeks. But in BMT, you get your rank like the last 2 weeks. One of like the last week or the last 2 weeks. When do you get issued uniforms? So you get issued PT uniforms your very first week there, and you get issued, well, we got issued ours our third week, our second week of training, but our third week being there. Are you allowed to have your phone in BMT? No, you're not allowed to have your phone. You get one call every week. It's mandatory that you get one call like every single week you're there. It might be 5 minutes, it might be 10 minutes, it might be 12 minutes, but you do get a call. And BMT makes you realize like 5 minutes is not a lot of time. You can do a lot in 5 minutes when you're there, and you'll learn that very quickly. The food in BMT is pretty trash. It's not like the best food, it's also not the worst food. Eventually you get used to it. I remember like I never wanted to eat breakfast because I thought it was so gross. And then by the end of BMT, I was just eating everything because I was so hungry. You definitely shouldn't go on a diet when you're in BMT, because you're gonna get hungry, especially since you only eat 3 times a day. You're gonna have to eat in the morning, super early. You're gonna have to eat at like 1300 the next meal, and then like 1800 the next meal. So like you're gonna have like 6 to 7 hours between meals. You should not eat light. You're gonna gain weight in BMT. I gained about 15 pounds while I was there. I was 115 pounds when I left home, and then when I got out of BMT, I was around 130. So you gain a lot of muscle. Obviously, because you're constantly working out, you're gonna gain weight. But eating good is also another thing. You shouldn't eat like the pizza all the time they have it. You shouldn't eat like all the pasta all the time that they have it. So those are kind of like the questions that are mainly asked to me. A lot of people do also ask about the ASVAB, but I was thinking of just making a video for the specifically the ASVAB, because that's such a popular question about how I studied or how I passed it, stuff like that. So I'm probably going to make a video about that later on. So thank you for watching my video. Make sure you like it, and if there's any other questions, DM me or snap me. Thank you.